And welcome to another episode of the Bandit Room. That is correct. I am not Charles. I am Caleb. Charles had to be absent today for
Charles is dead. Sorry. We didn't want to have to tell you on the pod, but
I was trying to soften the blow a little bit here.
What's your Venmo ID? We can get people to send us money there.
What do you think Charles would be right now on a Wednesday afternoon? What if he's used whatever excuse to go for
Is there
an
a poetry
audition?
session?
Because, no, hold on. No. There is some filming going on in Charlotte.
I saw that for SNL.
For Judd Apatow, they're filming. So what if Charles has made up this excuse, whatever his excuse he gave us, to go for audition?
He's a secret star?
Or he's an extra in the background or something.
And he lied to us last time when we asked him about if he had ever been to a casting call. He was secretly, getting ready for this Judd Apatow thing.
Right. And what if there's a British personality required? So Charles is probably in Charlotte right now waiting to go through audition or as an extra. Maybe that's where he is. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, Caleb. Sorry.
No, Charles has something going on today. Who
That's
knows?
Right.
Who knows?
That's right.
But yes, I'm Caleb, and I'm joined here today by Aggie and Mr. Jason Ackerman. Thanks for being here.
Jason is, if you folks don't know, Jason is our money man. Is that the right thing to say?
Adam's your money man.
Adam is my, see,
but I think I save you money.
that's
I save you money, and then you give that money to Adam, and then Adam loses it. But I save it for you.
Okay,
but when Adam loses, it's a tax loss.
That is
so
right.
We like that.
We like that. But I don't want. So I don't think I want to be hanging out with people who are losers, in a sense.
No, a purposeful,
Okay. So do we still need to stay in touch with Adam, or should we cut him out?
Well, we do work together technically, so I would say probably continue talking to him, but I don't give a shit.
So I found out that Adam is putting some beer garden, some kind of in his basement. Is that true?
I have not been to his new house yet. So I cannot speak to what's going on in that house. I can only speculate.
Right.
And I'd love to speculate what's going on there. I think, first of all, Emily, his wife, has to approve everything. So I highly doubt there's anything weird going on there.
He didn't tell me when he was here, but he told someone who doesn't drink. So I think he's just BSing him that he's putting a beer garden in his basement.
Yeah.
We can.
We'll have to break into his house and figure it out.
Holy dude, you can do that. I'm not a white guy. I might get shot straight away.
Yeah, especially in the neighborhood in Charlotte. Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, I'm Jewish, so I got to be careful too. We got a lot of minorities in this room for Raquel.
That's right.
This might be a new record. That's why
I just want to leave the office door and get straight into my truck.
That's why you got a lot of security when you walk in here. Smart.
That is true. So what do you think about David Tepper pulling out of Raquel? Now he pulled out of Eastland Mall.
The whole situation doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like, why would you spend the $300 million and just pull out?
Right. Do you think so he's canceled this project. He's canceled the project for his soccer team with the Eastland Mall. Do you think this is all the groundwork they're laying to move the team out?
I mean, that's what
Carolina?
Obviously, this is full speculation. And
right.
You should definitely report whoever listens. How many listeners do we have on this?
Probably like 6 of them.
Perfect. So all you 6 listeners should definitely report exactly what I'm going to say because I'm in the know. But yeah, it's very strange. It doesn't seem like a move you made to win support for your local community to spend $300 million and then over everybody.
Right.
So
right.
It's very strange. I've never heard of anybody doing any on that scale, like, because obviously he has the money and he could have gone back to the state or whoever and asked for money, and I would guarantee they would have given it to him.
Correct.
So
Correct.
It just seems it seems strange. Now, both of us are season ticket holders.
That's right. We have other people who've been here, season ticket holders. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's this guy just seems like a complete, and he's Jewish. Right. He's Jewish too, which is not good for us Jews. Doesn't make us Jews look good. And from the people that I've talked to that have actually dealt with him and his organization, they're like, he's kind of a dick. So.
Interesting. It's funny that we are learning more and more about him and his organization the more people guess we've come from. First, when we were talking initially, like we didn't know anything about it, and then we had more
Everyone
people
was
come.
super excited. I mean, he's the richest NFL owner.
Right.
He has put money into the team. I mean, he announced this awesome project here. Like, it's all going great, and now it's just he has to be smart enough to understand the PR move that he's doing. So there's a lot we don't know, and there's got to be a longer term thing, which I think is probably like, I want to move the team. Because what city around here would deal with him? Like,
he might go to
taking
Texas.
over Charlotte. But where in Texas? Like, I can't
we
figure
heard
out in the
San
US.
Antonio.
But like, San Antonio's not a good market. That's what I don't get. Like, why would you? I was thinking, and this is 100% speculation. I was like, maybe he wants to be like the London team or the first Europe team, or like a Toronto, or like, because there's not really any more U.S. Like, Charlotte's a top 15 U.S. market growing.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to move the team from here.
Right.
It's got a dedicated fan base. It's got the main thing is the corporate sponsorships. Like San Antonio, I don't know that much about it. It doesn't have all the Fortune 500 companies that Carolinas has.
Right.
So, but Europe does. So you move a team to Europe.
That dude. Look at you.
Yeah.
You are coming up.
I've
with
thought a lot about this.
But you guys been season ticket holders from day one, right?
Yeah, we were like the first year they played at Clemson.
But your seats are not as good as our seats are. But still, you guys have been there longer.
Our seats are pretty good.
You guys sit in the direct sun all day.
Well, I think in retro, that was before global warming. I think now we moved to your side. It's nice in the winter.
That is true.
So, but yeah, we're definitely on the sun
That's
side for
true.
sure.
Start
Well, and
to
he
win
owns
anything.
the stadium too, which is they're going to need a new stadium at some point.
Right.
So, but he owns the stadium now, so it's not like he's leasing it from the city.
Right.
So he's just going to get rid of that. I don't understand all the legal stuff behind that.
So we have the mayor coming in to our Bandit Room in 2 weeks. 3 weeks?
That's going to be.
So
Yeah, I don't remember.
These are
might-
questions for him.
Yeah, well, yeah, but we'll ask more
Well,
politely.
he won't know the.
Oh,
I don't know if he'll know the legal stuff with the Charlotte thing, but he'll definitely. I don't know how much he'll talk about.
Right.
It.
No, I mean, yeah. We'll ask him those questions. We'll
Yeah.
find out.
I'd love to it'll all come out eventually, but it all seems very strange. It seems like he wants to move the team for sure.
Yeah. So what happens to our season tickets then? Do we get our money back for the PSL that we paid?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think. I think.
Dude,
I think we're.
That's $40,000.
Did you get soccer tickets too?
No.
So we have soccer tickets. We'd have to pay a PSL for it, but yeah, you're never getting anything back. The whole PSL thing's a complete scam,
Right.
Too, especially in this day and age. Like, almost a better experience to watch it at home.
Right.
Like, I still like going to games, but when the team sucks,
Right.
like it's not a great experience. Like, you can sit at home and watch every NFL game on
Right.
your TV,
Right.
and do whatever you want, and the screen is with the money you have, big screens.
Are you talking about Tepper's money or my money? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your money.
I watch it on the boat dock.
You don't quite have enough Tepper money where you can just walk away from $300 million, but one day.
So let's talk about money. What's happening with taxes? Is there,
Well, I think we should clarify here. Jason is Adam's brother, who we had on a couple weeks ago.
Adam's older brother.
Everything
older brother.
you hated about Adam, I'm the opposite of that. Adam's older and shorter brother.
Here's the thing. Adam told this person that he was having lunch with that he fired his trainer. So the question is...
Our trainer.
Our trainer.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you mean when you fired? You just...
Okay.
You chickened out.
We should definitely discuss this because we have a trainer, Jonathan,
Right.
who is a very good trainer, I think.
Very good trainer.
And you introduced him
Right?
first to Adam.
Correct.
And Adam started using him, and I was like begging. I was like, "Please let me." And he gave me the worst time. He gave me like 12:30 on a Monday and Friday to go. And the good thing with Adam leaving is I got to move into his spot, which
Right.
is right after you in the morning.
Correct.
So Adam's like, I don't know, lifting weights, and he hurt his back, and he somehow blamed Jonathan for this whole thing, and now fired him.
He's telling people that he fired him. So the question is, what do you mean when you fired him? Like, you just stopped going. He's not coming to your house to train you. You told him, don't come to my house. You just stopped going to the gym.
Yeah.
So you chickened out. He's still there.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about this to him. That stop telling people that.
I just don't understand why. Like the trainer helps me. I wouldn't work out on my own.
That is true. Me too.
I definitely would not like bench press on my own or do, whatever else the fancy terms he has us do, lifting big weights. Like I wouldn't do that on my own.
Definitely not. And we are motivated people. We still won't do it. I mean, I've been.
Well, and it's like not safe. I wouldn't like trust myself. I'd freaking have an iron accident, as he calls it.
Iron accident. So we're going to invite Jonathan to one of the episode and talk about.
Jonathan's gonna be a great guest.
His training methodology and results and all the good stuff. No, it's been good to me. So going back to Adam.
Yeah. I was just going to say Adam does investing sort of things. Jason is a CPA and.
So the biggest difference, Adam is an investment advisor, so he manages money. So if you have money, and he helps you come up with a financial plan for that money, and then you create goals, and he helps you reach those goals. Whereas I do more of tax planning, so tax returns and tax planning.
Very cool.
So he went to Florida. Where did you go to study?
I went to NYU.
NYU.
Nice.
New York University, or NYU.
NYU.
As some people call it.
Did I also see that you studied minored in art history?
I was a minor in art because that's where the women were. Like the accounting women, they're not. There's a lot of bros. So but I liked art history too. I wanted something the exact opposite from accounting.
What is that? What is
the study of art history?
Yeah, the history of art.
History of art.
Yes.
Yeah. Like what did you study? Like what?
So I specialize. I only went up to Renaissance, so basically prehistoric times to Renaissance. But I focused on. I did most of my classes because I actually went on an archeological dig. I don't know if you know this.
No,
three times in Cyprus. So
nice.
Hellenistic. It's mostly a Hellenistic dig.
Which is like ancient Greece.
Yeah, ancient, like kind of later Greek, 1st, 2nd century. And I'm probably botching that because it's been a while. But so mostly that. And then I studied abroad in Florence, Italy. So I did Renaissance. So those are like the kind of times I wouldn't say I specialize in, but I used to know, like you showed me a painting, I could tell you who it was. What? If it was a Renaissance.
That's pretty cool. So you already have gone one grade up from Mr. Adam. I don't think Adam has any other talent, does he?
Adam is very entrepreneurial. Like when he was in high school, he was always making money. Mostly illegally, but it was like he was booking, he was like hawking stuff. Like Adam's very entrepreneurial, kind of like you. Like you, that's a special mindset because you have to be not risk averse.
Right.
So like you have to be risky. Like when you start a company, you have to think like your crazy idea is going to work.
Right.
Where most people are like, that's a crazy idea, it's not going to work. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to like build a tax program. Like you have to be a little insane to do that. So you guys have that in common, and that's like a very, I think, a good skill to have.
You're right. Not I have recently, I don't want to name names, but recently I was hanging out some cousins and
I thought you were gonna say David Tepper.
No, they have lots of ideas, but they don't want to take the risk to put themselves and their luxuries of lifestyle at risk.
You got to be able to risk everything.
You got to risk everything.
You got to put all your money into stuff.
But for me, listen, I grew up in a 600 square feet house, so I have no problem losing everything I have because I'm still be comfortable in a 600 square feet house. So I got no problem with it.
I don't know if your wife is, but
she'll be fine. Because someone, when I talked to them about, this is a couple of years ago, about when I bought the property on the lake and we're going to tear it down, build a big house and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, why would you want to go to a big house? The trend is you got to, make it smaller or downsize. Have you seen all these little tiny homes and all this? So I just stood there with a big grin on my face. I said, yeah, that's how I lived when I was growing up. I don't think it's a trend to go back to that. I want to go away from.
Yeah, I don't understand the tiny house thing. It's... it doesn't sound like fun to me.
Some people, I don't know how long they're comfortable living there, but it's not for me. But apparently it's a trend that everyone should do. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think if you're like single, you're living alone, you're trying to be sort of more minimalist, save money, not like, I don't know.
Yeah, if you're 21 and single and just like, I
think it could work.
Get it.
But
when
most
you're
people,
old, that's too much. I don't need that.
Or people who live in vans.
Now, I like the low maintenance situation.
Right.
You know,
But don't you think
see,
so?
you're a doer. You're hands-on. You
That's
like to
right.
do
Right.
I'm the opposite of that. I will pay anyone to do anything because I don't want to do it.
But Caleb, going back to what you were saying about minimalistic and all that stuff, or living freely, but don't you think living in a tiny home, you're so strict, you got to have such a strict routine of where everything within arm's reach is, you got to put exactly back. You really have no freedom of movement.
It depends on how tiny of a house you're living in, but yes,
Right.
that's probably true.
Caleb, do you go to the gym?
No.
Have you ever been to a gym?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
What, like in high school?
Yeah, in college we had...
Just like look around, see what's going on.
Yeah. Just walked in, it's like...
Jonathan, you are a marathon runner. Talk to
Jason.
like what did I say?
Jonathan.
Holy
That's an honor though that you call me Jonathan. I'm gonna tell him that tomorrow.
Jason. So, did you know Caleb? He's what is the right term?
I've done
Marathoner?
4 more. I would say I have run and walked some marathons. Mostly run, but I'm not in it for the time. I'm more just.
But you're not. Before we get there, what are you? What are you?
A marathoner.
Marathoner.
Sure.
Okay. So he's a marathoner, and we trust his marathon ability so much. We actually sponsor him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whose idea was this? Was this your idea, Aggie?
I'm
It was
so
his idea.
yeah. I was like, I kind of need a shirt, and I don't want to spend $40. So will you just put your logo on this thing, and I can wear it.
Is that the sponsorship? $40 of a t-shirt?
That one. I think the next one we paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
For the Berlin one, I think.
Yeah.
We paid.
So I want to do all the 6 major marathons. I've done 3 so far.
Tell us about it. What is the 6 major marathon? I don't know.
So it's Berlin, London, Japan, Tokyo,
Huh.
and then Boston, New York, and Chicago. So I've done Chicago, New York, and Berlin.
Mm.
Okay.
I need to do London, Tokyo, Boston. Those are all during tax season, so that's why I haven't done those yet.
Gotcha.
So I have to figure that out. But
So how do you prepare for one of this?
so you do training, and I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, but it's Hal Hidgen,
Uh-huh.
and he's he won some big race. He's a American, and he does these training programs. So it's basically it's a 18 to 24 week program, and anyone. The reason why I did a marathon was I wanted to prove to myself I could do it. Like anyone can do a marathon. I do it in like 5 hours, so I'm slow. But I do the training. If you follow the training, you can start from basically not running at all to doing a marathon within. You have to be in a little bit of shape.
Right.
Like you could definitely do it if you wanted to.
Huh. But my problem with that is I'm such hyper ADD. I'll be running the marathon and then my brain will be somewhere else. Halfway through, I'll just take a totally different track.
No, you can't. You can't get off the. It's very hard to get off the track.
So I'm not.
No, that would be perfect for you if you can run
Right.
and think about other stuff and
Right.
distract you. Like that's ideal.
Yeah.
So the only time I've taken part in a sport challenge or competition was in junior high or somewhere like early stages, 5th or 6th grade, something like that. Anyway, so they had this thing where you do long jump, and they were trying to find a couple of students to compete with the other school. For some reason, me and my friends decided to wait in line to do a long jump, and so we were practicing, and to basically jump and land in the sand pit. It was my turn. Before my turn, we were practicing, and nobody knows what the hell a long jump is. We just seen it on TV. So we were running and jumping, and we were having fun, and it was good. I thought I was doing good, and when it was my turn for the qualifier, I came running, and I completely forgot to jump. I just
Kept running.
I just ran through the sand pit.
Well, you're kind of short. You're not. You're set up for running.
Right.
You'd be good at running. Not good at long jump, I don't think.
I don't know. After that, I've not taken part in any of that sports competition, I guess would be the thing.
Have you thought about like bodybuilding like Jonathan?
No, my genetics are not built for that. Dude, I mean, when he goes to a competition, he's so strict with his diet. When he wakes up, when he sleeps, what he drinks. I can't do that stuff, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How can he?
He asks me every week, like, how's your diet going? I was like, F you.
My diet is pretty good. Now I've got a pretty
you're
good routine. I'm pretty happy with my new routine. But I still eat, whatever I want to eat. But when he's doing competition, he wakes up, he sets an alarm for like 3 o'clock in the morning to wake up and eat a banana or something,
Yeah.
There's no way I
I
can
mean,
do
he's
that.
nutso.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't
In the
drink
best way.
He doesn't drink alcohol. How can he not have a shot of bourbon at least once a week?
Well, are you going to make him do it here?
Oh, I don't know. We might have to bring some milk for him.
Protein powder.
So, let's get back to a quick second of marathon. So, when you do this marathon, what is your goal there? Like, what other than
To
competing
finish.
in that? To finish.
That's literally the only goal.
Okay.
Try and finish. Like I kind of have a time in mind. Like
Uh-huh.
everyone, I want to beat my last time. So the first one I did was Athens, the original marathon. I don't know if you know what happened, but the guy died. The original marathon. He ran from marathon to Athens and said what he needed to say and collapsed.
Oh.
That's why it's a marathon. That's the distance. It's
Gosh.
from marathon to Athens.
Okay.
So if you didn't know that,
Right.
my original goal was just I wanted to get under 5 hours, and the first time I trained, like I would have done it had it not like I didn't do enough training for it. It's a really big hill. Like you basically go from mile 8 to mile 20, and it's straight uphill gradually.
Which one was this?
This is in Athens. They're like, don't do this as your first marathon. I was like, oh, well,
Right.
they don't know anything. So I ended up walking my Achilles ended up starting hurting, so I started walking. And then once I got to the downhill, I was fine. So I ended up going like 5:30 or something.
Huh.
And every marathon since then, I have beat that. So my ultimate goal, I want to get under. I'd like to get it around the 4:30 on one of my last couple.
Has anyone in those marathons come after you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you're not the last group.
No. I'm not the. There's normally a time limit, and it's around. They let you go like 6:30.
Uh-huh.
So, and that hour's a long time.
Right.
So I mean, I'm definitely in that bottom half, but
Okay.
there's lots of people behind me.
Gotcha.
Some people just watch. Some of them they allow you to watch the whole thing. That normally takes 8.5 hours. Some people will do that. You could actually do it less than that.
Do you
but-
get like so? Okay, so you're talking about 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah.
The guy who wins, our girl
That's
who
an
wins
11-minute rough pace.
it. So the guy or girl who wins it, what is their time?
Well, the fastest marathon, the guy just did it. It was just under 2 hours.
Holy crap!
What?
So
Do they have big money?
those sits are the biggest ones. So they'll have the. Yeah, I mean Boston's obviously the biggest one.
What kind of money are we talking about? The people who
I don't know. I think it's like we should doodle it right now, Caleb. Doodle how much the Boston Marathon first place makes. I mean, it's more about endorsements. Like the guy who did the other 2 minute, that was sponsored by Nike. Like I'm sure he has a huge Nike contract.
Boston Marathon winner is $150,000 for first place.
Isn't
So,
that
It's not too much.
that's like what is a rookie contract for
what?
the NFL?
It's a little bit more than that, 300 or 400 minimum.
But there nobody's beating you up.
Yeah, there's probably 20 people
Huh.
who can win those things, and they're mostly like Ethiopia. Apparently, like it's like the perfect altitude for running,
Uh-huh.
like where they're born. So their legs are like the perfect size for running, and
That's like the Nepalese for the Sherpas.
yeah,
They have. Do you know from what I read or seen? They have a bigger lung capacity.
yeah. Because if you
Genetically.
grow up, like
Yeah,
it's kind of like
The altitude and
yeah. So apparently they can work and climb better at even high altitude and not have to struggle so much to breathe like we do. So what is genetically? What do you have that is different for being from Rock Hill?
well, I grew up on Lake Wylie, so I probably have like 8 spleens. I don't know. It's like the 5th dirtiest lake in the world.
So talking about that, on Saturday I've been tubing down Catawba River
yeah,
4 hours.
what started the dam?
Yeah, but on the Westminster side, Rock Hill side.
Yeah,
What a waste of 4 hours.
it's not for me.
I shouldn't say never going to do it again. I might do it again if it is a nice cool day and the water flow is much more stronger than what it was.
So, do you get out of Riverwalk?
Yeah.
That took 4 hours.
For 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a long. See it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it was like 100 degrees.
I'm not an outdoors person. I like playing golf,
right.
but like hiking, I'll do like a mile hike. But after that, like no, thank you. Although I did go to Machu Picchu one time, not to be a one-upper or bragger,
Right.
but that was worth the hike. We did a 2-day hike.
Right.
I would have spent more time hiking there. That was pretty awesome.
I'm not a big hiker.
Yeah,
I think I grew up hiking for everything, even to go to the store.
yeah.
So now
Yeah.
I'm like, I need air conditioning.
Speaking of Nepal, though, I want to do like before I die, I want to do a little trek there.
Yeah. Oh, I have a good friend. He has a couple of offices in Nepal. He does recruitment for people to go to Middle East for all the different types of laborers. So he has a huge, I guess what they call employment agency, whatnot, and he goes to, he actually house in Nepal, keeps saying, we should go visit, and he knows everything about Nepal. I might actually go do it one day.
I think that would be, because they carry all your stuff. You get the Sherpas, like you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not.
They carry it. I do like a couple day hike. It's supposed to be like clear your mind, find yourself out there.
What is it? What is this? Another friend of mine, Arun, he's in LA now. He did that. He went to India, and I don't know if he rented. He bought a Enfield Bullet motorcycle, the old school British motorcycle, and he rode it all the way to Nepal or somewhere mountain there, and he wanted to stay there for a week and do yoga and clear his mind. So tell me, what does this clear your mind mean? Like, what is it that you can't get out of your head?
You're having a midlife crisis and you need help.
But what is it that you're going to do? Sit there by yourself? Well, what is it that, are you not able to come up with a reasoning for the next stage in your life or next step from in Rock Hill that you have to go all the way to Kathmandu to do that? What? Tell me the process for it.
They have a good marketing team. Like you. Like you. It's like, come to Kathmandu, you'll find yourself. All right. Why not? It looks pretty.
That is true. No, he was telling me the same thing. I was like, I listened to him. And after a minute, I was like, dude, hold on. What are you talking about?
You can just go down the river for 4 hours.
Yeah. Clear your mind right there. But I was at a few beer, and then I was like, God, I need to get out of here. The water is so freaking dirty. Like bubbles coming out of it. All the tubes are stained now. It's like, this is freaking stupid. But I have kayaked down that river, and I enjoyed it. And I did that like in 40 minutes or so. I have done that because when you control, you can go faster and get out. But tubing and attached to like 10 other tubes, no. Apparently some people do it every weekend.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, I think it's time to pick out a bourbon. Let's do it.
All right.
If you're a trucker and you own a truck that weighs 55,000 pounds or more, we're here to let you know that it's time to file your Form 2290 again. Thankfully, Express Truck Tax is here to make e-filing easy with a free VIN checker, a scan for common errors, and 100% US-based customer support. So go to expresstrucktax.com now to file your 2022-23 Form 2290.
So, Caleb, what are we drinking today?
Well, we finally busted into the burning chair this week.
Right on. On Sunday night, I opened a bottle of Smooth Ambler Rye. It's damn good. Have you had that?
I don't know any. I'm more of a food guy, and I'd like to get into like Adam's into bourbon, and we have like a good buddy. I don't know if you met him yet, John, who has like super into bourbon.
No. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about you being a foodie. You have your. Do you continue? Do you still have your blog? Or
we're kind of on. We still have the blog. It's kind of like I was telling Caleb before. It's a little zombie mode right now because we just we have a 7-month-old baby who's had some little complications. So we've put it on hold, but it'll come back, and we still like eating. So.
And you guys, this is it's called Scallion Pancake, right?
Scallion Pancake.
Where did that name come from?
So. When Instagram came out in 2009-ish, I was looking for a handle for my Instagram, and I didn't want it. I wanted it to be Dragon Slayer 69, but that was already taken. So I just kept. I didn't want a number actually, so I was looking, and I just kept on like trying to find some object that had not been taken. And I liked scallion pancakes, which is a food.
What is a scallion pancake?
So it's a Chinese dish. It's basically. It's a savory pancake, like a very thin pancake that has scallions in it.
Like the scallion chicken we get from our Walk to Chinese restaurant here. Is that the same?
No. It's not anything the same.
So if I went into a Chinese restaurant, would they have?
Yeah, they should. Like the ones around here won't have them, but if you go to a decent one... They'll have them.
I'm sorry, it's not a blog. It's a Instagram.
Well, so we started it. So that's how we got the name, and that was my Instagram handle. And then my wife and I, we enjoyed when we travel. We like to go to like fancy restaurants. And then I don't know how it started, but I was like, we should write up, how we thought the experience was, so we could remember it. That's really why we started the food blog, to be like, oh,
Why do you guys have some within your genetics? Do you guys have some kind of a memory disease or something?
Well, it's just hard to remember, like all the dishes that
Right.
you have. Like you go to these tasting menus. Sometimes there's 25 dishes on a tasting menu.
So what do you do with that memory of what it tasted like? So you think, okay, today is Sunday. Let me
Well,
go through my book and see what.
It's not so much the taste.
No, I'm just trying to figure it out.
So it's not so much the taste. It's
Right.
more of like the experience that you had.
Yeah,
So-
I get that. Yes.
And sometimes like you can normally remember, like if you taste something, that's the beauty of food and like why we like going to these things. It's like it's a memory. So
Right.
you taste something, it reminds you of something else and kind of goes on that. But why we like doing it is it's kind of like a theater
Right.
experience,
Right.
but a theater experience that you're like participating in. Because every time you go to a restaurant, every service is different. Like
So
depending upon what ingredients they got that day or the
Right.
or the chef's mood or whatever.
Right.
Like, so you can go to the same restaurant 3 nights in a row and have 3 different experiences, and that's
Correct.
kind of the fun of it. Like, you go to these fancy restaurants, sometimes they blow.
Right.
You're like, what the hell happened? And then all these people love it, and so it's kind of fun that way.
Right. So that's what I was coming to. It's like it's more about the experience and not really the taste of the food.
Yeah, I mean, the taste of the food obviously plays into the experience,
Right.
and like when you go to these things, like why I like a tasting menu too is you're not picking. So the chef is picking for you. So like you would never order, you would like most people would not go to a restaurant and be like, I'm going to try like grasshopper. Because you're like, that's weird. I don't want that. But like when it's served to you and like maybe they don't tell you exactly what it is and like after they tell you, then you're like trying new things and kind of expanding your
Is that a
palate.
plagiarized version of a Chinese buffet?
Everything comes back to the Chinese buffet.
This is kind of interesting because I watched a video recently. So a fancy restaurant like pre-1915 or like early 1900s, a fancy restaurant would have everything on the menu, and you had the choice was the luxury. And then as like we became more industrialized and we could, source things and globalized and we could source food, fancy restaurants became where you basically had no choice and somebody was picking these things for you because we already have so much choice in our daily life.
Yeah, the whole like history of restaurant, like a restaurant itself is pretty new. Like the Middle Ages, you would go to like they had like bars kind of where you would go drink and maybe they served some food, but like no one did that because no one had money. So like like the fanciest food was served at like the King's Palace. That's where you would get nice stuff. And then like really started in France, the modern like restaurant scene 70 years ago. And that's where like the Michelin Guide, if you don't know what the Michelin Guide is, like it's from the tire company. They put out a guide so you would use their tires to go to restaurants. So that's where the Michelin Guide comes from. It's kind of new. That's the other cool thing about it is like if you've seen Chef's Table or any of these TV shows, like it's one of the few like for athletics, we were talking about the Panthers, like the chances of me meeting like and being able to like play football with like it doesn't make sense. Like I wouldn't do with Christian McCaffrey on the Panthers, like I have nothing in common with that person. And like if I met him, it's like completely different person. Like you can go watch him play, but like you're not experiencing, whereas like food, like you're intimately involved with the chef who's could or could not be famous, and he's like interacting with you, and that's kind of a fun experience too.
So I'm more of a restaurant, good food kind of guy. I prefer restaurants which
I love those too.
That's my. I'm not a big fan of fancy restaurant. Would you go to one of the fancy restaurant and eat and still have the same experience if the chef doesn't have sleeve tattoo on both his arms?
You have to be bisexual and have multiple tattoos for me to enjoy your restaurant. No, I mean that's the beauty of food too. You can have the best meal. Like the best meals are not necessarily at a 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Right.
The best meals could be like at a hole in the wall.
Yep.
Probably not in Rock Hill, but like you go to New York City,
right,
and you can go find a random ass place that no one's ever heard of and have a fantastic meal there and that's the beauty. Like you're always chasing that. That's like you're chasing a great meal, and there's so few of those great meals that like when you have it, it's very special, and like you try to recreate it and it's just hard to recreate.
So my time working on cruise ships, I've had a chance to travel to 52 different countries, and I would say more than 50% in those countries I've gone and had lunch or dinner in a hole in the wall kind of restaurant.
So what's your favorite experience that you've had?
The most favorite one that I had was actually in Thailand.
Yeah.
And we were rented some mopeds. We were running around. And
you in Phuket? Where were you?
We were in Pattaya. Just a bunch of guys, just drinking and riding the moped. And then we were hungry, so we pulled over. There was a little restaurant on the side by the beach. And there was literally 2 tables, and there was like 4 chairs, and we were like 6 of us. So they went and got a couple of rocks for us to sit, and we didn't even tell them. We just said we want lunch. We sat down, we were drinking, and I used to smoking, just joking around. And next thing you know, the husband and wife, they were kind of old couple, came with like 3 or 4 plates of. See, my mouth is just watering thinking about it.
I mean, me too. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Came with a bunch of fish dishes and rice and all this stuff. It was fantastic. We didn't even talk to them. We didn't order anything. We had no idea what they were making. We just, enjoyed it. And when we said how much, to pay them, and whatever they said was going to be like about $20. So we were like, that's all? That's crazy. So I think we gave like $100 or $200 to them, and we were happy. So that memory of that experience, not knowing what the food was, not knowing the chef, they didn't have any tattoo sleeves on them, but the food was fantastic. But anyway, so that's kind of restaurant kind of I get excited about. Most of the time I don't even ask them for a menu. I just say, make me something, whatever, and then we'll eat it. We'll see what happens.
An authentic experience, I think, is what you're saying. Like you want to go someplace and just feel like you're getting to, like, not made for tourists. Like you're feeling like you're part of the culture there. Right. And getting, obviously, delicious food is important. And that's you're always chasing that. I think those are the best meals.
Also, maybe it does help that you're walking in there with no expectation of anything
for sure.
specific.
Yeah, you go to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. I mean, you're expecting. It's hard to, like, meet that expectation.
Right.
I mean, to a certain extent, what you guys are describing is not entirely different, though, is coming in and saying, like, I'm not ordering anything. Like, whatever you give me, I'll eat. And if it's good, like, you have that great experience. So that they are very different. I'm not saying that, but, like, you're sort of describing a similar...
good food is good food. Like, you don't need tweezers to make good food, for sure. right. So, and like, especially in Asia, like, they have such a street culture of food, and India.
Right, yeah.
And, like, we don't really have that here. So there's, like, food trucks, kind of. But one of the best... We were in Mexico a few years ago, and we were just, like, in a market, and it was, like, 30 cents for a taco, and it was, the most amazing tacos. Like, those are... I still think about those tacos. All the time. Yeah,
I mean, I've been very lucky to experience that kind of food scenario in quite a few countries, and those some of my.
I'm dying to go to Thailand. I've never been. Well, I've only been to Hong Kong, really, in Asia.
Yeah.
So I'd like, and I've been to Beijing too, but I'd love to. I told you we're gonna go to India one day. I'm only going with you.
All right, let's.
I don't trust myself there by myself. And the thing too is, like. And it's kind of dumb to do a blog because, like, you can't experience the food through a blog, although you can but you have to, like, be there. Like, you can't eat food through the internet. You actually have,
right.
And as more and more stuff goes online, and we were just talking about the experience of sports is better to watch on TV now. Right. Like, you're not, and I still think, like, an amazing sports experience, like, you can still get it, but you can't eat food through your computer.
Right.
It could happen. But
when we go to the games, bumping into you and talking to other people and going to the same bar where the bartender knows your drink, it's still a great experience. So, all right, let's going back to what do you do, and tell us about your company and what are you guys doing? Give me some history and what is the future.
This is when people can turn off.
That's why we go to the last.
So I'm part of BNA. BNA was founded by my dad. It's his initials, Bernard N. Ackerman. The side that I'm on, Adam's on the investment side, obviously, but I do the mostly tax and tax planning for individuals and small businesses and some larger businesses.
So when did your dad start this business?
He started in 1977.
Wow.
So we're coming up on our 50-year anniversary in a few years.
Still in Rock Hill?
So he started in Rock Hill. He started it under, like, where the Earth Fair was back then. Somewhere in that shopping center.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
And then we were until we moved to Riverwalk. So we built the building in Riverwalk in 2015. We were the first commercial entity in Riverwalk. And we didn't back out like Tepper. And then we were on Riverview Road with all the motels.
So your dad is very... technology forward. He was one of the first guys to get a Tesla here. He's
he
got
had the first.
smart
We think it
flower
was the first one
in South
in
Carolina.
South Carolina because
Right.
they didn't know. Like he went to pay property tax and they didn't know what to like do about it. They're like, what is this? What is it?
So now you got a Tesla,
I do. I just got a Y.
right? Adam still drives his. I don't know what he drives.
He's got a Volvo.
Right.
He's apparently on the wait list for the Lucid.
Really?
Yeah,
What is that?
The truck.
it's another electric car.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
apparently they're having a lot of delays. And you got a Tesla. You hated it apparently. You had the first version of the 3, which I heard
Right.
from hearing from people. Apparently that was not good.
So you still
think they've improved
you're
a
still
lot
drinking
of
the
it.
Kool-Aid.
I mean, I've only had it for 3 weeks.
Right.
And-
The first 3 months I enjoyed my
And
Tesla.
I came from my Hyundai Elantra, so
Right.
like anything is better than that.
See, I went from my E-Class to that, and no, actually the M-Class to that, so that's why.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I mean, I love it. So far, so good.
Right on. Now, what's the future for the accountant side of business, like technology-wise? What is new?
Our technology is lagging as far as the tax side. So the accounting side, accounting programs, there's 2 big players, QuickBooks and Xero are the 2 big players. QuickBooks is the biggest player. Probably never heard of Xero. There's a lot of stuff happening in the financial space around that. The tax space, because taxes are so complicated, it's income taxes. I mean, you guys do a tax program, but for specific tax products, the income tax side is so complex and it's getting even more complex. Like there's literally 10,000 jurisdictions in this country because you got 50 states and then some states taxed by the county, some taxed by the city. So it's a very complex system. So in order for a new player to come in there, they have to spend billions and millions and millions of dollars, and it's a high barrier to entry. So we're lagging on our technology side for tax, which is annoying. But there's always cool stuff coming out that can kind of help us. So we kind of view technology as, we don't want to replace the personal relationship. That's what I enjoy about my job, is having these personal relationships like with you and whomever. But like we want to make the job easier, like the grunt work easier, so I can spend more time with you or whomever. So that's what we like to use technology for.
All right, Jason. Well, thank you so much for coming by, buddy.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully this was better than Adam. And
Yeah, it definitely
I'll come back.
Yeah.
We should do one when we bring Adam also in here and you, and then we talk about more stuff.
Leave the listeners wanting more. That's the key.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, dude. Well, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Let's do it again.
We will.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Bandit Room is a production of Span Enterprises, located in sunny Rock Hill, South Carolina. We've been developing, supporting, and growing successful IRS e-filing and business management solutions since 2010. Go to spanenterprises.com now to learn more. The views and opinions expressed in the Bandit Room are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect or state the opinions of Span Enterprises. No information should be considered as tax, legal, or other professional advice.